In 2011, while on parliamentary duties in South Africa, Makinde West MP Hussein Kyanjo started to feel a strange sensation in his tongue, and he was soon struggling to speak. Upon diagnosis by doctors both in Dubai and University Hospital of London, he was informed that his condition could have been caused by a hereditary disease, the effects of a serious accident, or poison. As he slowly recovers, Kyanjo remains a political player in his party, Justice Forum, in IPOD, and on the national scene. Today, we host him to discuss more on IPOD leadership and the roadmap for the 2021 general elections. Honorable Hussein Kyanjo, thank you very much for having honored our invitation to come on this show. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you, and hello viewers.
Let me begin. We have always known you as an astute politician that God created with a very sharp mind, but most of all, with the ability to express that mind in terms of speech.
Yeah.
You, as a young reporter, when I used to see you, you were a true embodiment of a man with a gift of the gab. But to wake up one day and find that you have lost the most important asset of a politician, and that is your voice, it must have been very traumatizing. Hussein, how did it happen on that day in South Africa?
Well, now I have got two stories now, right?
Yes.
Well, I have got that story, and I have got a new story which appeared in January.
Let's go back to the beginning. When you are on a parliamentary duty in South Africa, you wake up and you have lost your voice.
I had traveled with many colleagues, but the one who was much closer to me was Honorable Patrick Amriat.
Yes.
The president of FDC.
Yes.
So he was my next neighbor in the hotel. In the morning, I wake up and I cannot speak anymore. So I knock on his door, tell him the problem, right? Now,
which is also a struggle because you have lost your voice. You cannot even explain to him that I can't speak anymore.
Yes.
And he's wondering what's up with Honorable
He was wondering. Yeah, we found a clinic nearby. I went there. I couldn't express myself. I thought it was a problem that could be solved by the doctors quickly. But then they said, no, it's a more serious thing. So we spent 2 more days on the trip.
In South Africa?
Yeah, when I returned here, I packed my bag and went to Dubai.
This is happening to you in a foreign country, and probably you're thinking, maybe I've eaten something that is allergic, maybe this is going to go. At what point did you realize that, okay, I am in serious trouble?
When the doctor informed me in South Africa, said you cannot come to a clinic to treat what you have now. You need to go to a bigger hospital. And we had work to do, so I thought I would maintain the situation, control it, and later return home, which I managed to do. But I couldn't speak all those 2 days that were there. I was with Hussein Kyanjo, with
the police officer?
Yeah, the police officer. We were a team of many people. We had gone for PPP, benchmarking in South Africa. So from here I went to Dubai. In Dubai is when they told me you have got a serious problem. You have got a disease called dystonia.
Estonia?
Dystonia.
Dystonia?
Yeah. And they said this disease catches up with you when you have got 3 serious things. One, if you have got a hereditary history of the disease.
Your family has a history of dystonia?
Within your family. It was not there. They said the second thing would have been that if you had a serious accident and you were affected. And the third one was that if you had been given poison.
So you in your family do not have dystonia?
No.
You were not involved in any serious accident?
No.
So the option remains that you...
Not even a minor one.
Not even a minor?
Yeah.
So the only other option is poison?
Yes.
Hussein Kyanjo, were you poisoned?
Well, this is what I think, because this is what they told me. And the doctor said I was in the Iranian hospital in Dubai.
Iranian hospital in Dubai?
Yeah, it's a very popular hospital because it is more sophisticated than many hospitals around there. So they told me, we cannot treat you here for dystonia. You will have to go. The doctor wrote to me a hospital in London. Okay? So I went to London, in Queen's Hospital, and they treated me for 3 years. and I was not getting any better, right? So last day they said we were going to operate on me, and
So wait a minute. The hospital in Dubai and the hospital in London, both of them told you there are 3 ways you could have gotten this problem.
yeah,
Either through hereditary,
yeah,
or through an accident,
yeah,
or poison.
yes,
And you are ruling out hereditary,
yeah,
you are ruling out an accident, and you
yes,
think Hussein Kyanjo, a critical voice in Ugandan politics, probably who could have been poisoned.
yes. But in our religion, we simply say, Alhamdulillah, this is what God has decided. I went with it. I have to go with it. So London, they told me they can treat me by an operation. Okay? They termed it deep brain stimulation. They open your skull.
So those are the 2 maybe
Yeah,
scars I can see.
Yeah, the ones you can see. They open your skull, insert electrodes in your brain.
So like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
As we are here, you're integrated with sort of machine in your body.
Yes, because when they insert the electrodes, they wire them through the neck and down. They put a battery
I understand
in your left hand side of the body.
So
right?
as we speak right now, Honorable Hussein Kyanjo, you have wires running from your head into your chest, and you have a helium battery of sorts
Yeah.
in your chest,
Yes.
inserted in your body.
Yeah.
What is the battery for?
The battery is for stimulating the brain. I charge this battery every 3 days.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Honorable Hussein Kyanjo, you have to put yourself on a charger after every 3 days.
Yes, for around an hour and a half or 2. When it's ready, you see the indication.
So when you are charging, are you charging a battery, or you are charging yourself the entire? You sit, everything has stopped.
You are charging a battery. You are charging the battery. You lie down on your bed and charge. Right?
So when you are charging your battery, there's nothing else that can be going on because you have to be in one position.
Yeah. That's what happened. And when I finished charging, and Patrick invites you for the program, like, you come and talk.
So you have just charged now?
Yeah.
But what happens if you have not charged? Has that occurred and you find that maybe you didn't get time to charge, and what happens?
No, I've been very keen on charging, but of course some days you get late and the speech deteriorates, right? You cannot speak properly when you haven't charged well. So this is what happens. Otherwise, you don't feel any pain or anything, but you deteriorate in speech when you don't charge.
So the battery is inside your skin?
Yeah, it's just here. It's inside the skin.
And what's the shelf life, or what is the life of the lifespan of the battery you carry within your body?
It's 10 years. Actually, the 10 years are for the charger, not the battery. The battery stayed there forever, but the charger has to be replaced. And when I go to hospital, they refurbish it, they recharge it, and they give it to you. Yeah.
And when you're talking about hospital, you're talking about a specialized hospital out of Uganda, right?
Yes, in India. Because I did not take the operation in London because of the charges. So I came here and worked with the Dr. Mhumza in Mulago Hospital, who told me there is another center where you can treat this. And he identified this hospital in India. So this is where I go for treatment.
So these kind of batteries are specialized batteries to work on a problem similar to this, or this is just maybe designed for you for this particular dystonia problem?
No, I think they deal with other problems, yeah. But this was specifically for this purpose.
Perhaps without your knowledge, when you are fighting for your life in South Africa, in Dubai and England, I saw in this country an outpouring of love for you that was across the political divide, the tribal and the regional divide.
Yes.
Did you ever get to know how Ugandans were following your story with so much sympathy for you and love for you?
I know, and I get too much humbled for it. Because in January, around January, I was diagnosed with cancer, right? And I had to rush to hospital because we went around Kampala, and I couldn't find a suitable place to treat myself. So I ran again to my India, and I had a serious effect in the lungs, in the kidneys, in the liver, right?
Almost all your organs were failing.
They were nearly failing. But when I went to India, they treated me, and 3 months later, when I returned, I was better. So I stayed here for 3 months again. When I went back, the checking indicated, the results indicated that the disease was no longer in those areas, except in one small part in the rectum. But they had wiped out all the effects of the disease in the lungs, in the liver, in the kidneys.
And once again, you said Alhamdulillah.
I said Alhamdulillah. And I must thank Ugandans, including you, Patrick, who gave me your prayers, your love, and your support. Because I needed a lot of money, and I couldn't find this money in 2 weeks. But Ugandans came together and gave it to me. And I must be very specific in thanking the people, because this was just love, nothing else. I received a lot of support from Parliament, not officially the Parliament of Uganda, but from members of Parliament. They gave me 25 million. All right? And when I looked through the list of those who contributed, it included many people. I was feeling too much humbled, including government cabinet ministers. Right? I will not mention their names here, but they came to my rescue.
I can really agree, because even in our newsrooms, wherever we were, in the Turkish Park, you know, the story of Hussein Kyanjo, an astute politician who was using his voice as a leader, and to wake up and you don't have it. It is a story that gripped every Ugandan that followed the politics of our country.
Yeah.
And to see you, you know, in a way, like the Egyptian phoenix rise from the ashes and back.
Yes.
It must be also very gratifying for those very close to you and your friends, because at one point people thought that the Honorable Hussein Kyanjo
is a gone case.
Is a gone case.
Yeah.
But Hussein Kyanjo is like an Egyptian phoenix.
Yes. Yes.
So,
and I teach my friends these days. I tell them I could be better in health than you, including you, Patrick.
Yes, when you fight like that and come back, I can no doubt.
Just recently, it was very unfortunate to hear that Medi Kagwa has died. In a span of 1 hour, he's very sick, he's dead. Right? So that's why we continue to say Alhamdulillah all the time.
Now, so I don't wonder whether your family, yourself, and those very close to you have tried to find out the other option, that Hussein Kyanjo could have been poisoned, to find out why, by who, for what purpose.
Yeah. I got a senior army officer here who is a friend at the same time, came to me and said, I have got a lot of expertise in investigations. Allow me to look for somebody who gave you poison. I told him, don't bother. Let him celebrate. Because if you find him, is he going to destroy my original state?
Your speech?
My speech? He's not. The damage is already done. Leave him. We shall meet in front of God, and we shall sort ourselves at that stage.
You're a very meek man.
That's it. I mean, what do you get if they told you Kamara is the one who gave you poison? Right? Do you expect him to bring back your speech? No. You remain with what you have and proceed. Work has to continue. The world has to go ahead.
As a politician in this country, I have seen people who are very critical. People with an acidic and toxic tongue who can speak so many things, and some of them very unspeakable. But these very dangerous things don't happen to them. I'm trying to say that you can disagree with politicians and leaders in this country with respect, and you can disagree and you can be. Because if you take the story or the angle, maybe it was poison, they say, why Hussein Kyanjo? After all, we have people who have gone the whole length of being as critical and fight.
Beyond borders.
Yeah, but they have not been touched in some way. Because why JEMA, the party, your party, JEMA, is a big party, yes. But
it's not a
JEMA
threat.
was not a threat.
Yeah.
Not to other political parties, not even to the incumbent
Yes.
party.
Yeah.
So why would Hussein Kyanjo be poisoned?
That should be my question also. I don't know why.
But why wouldn't you want that question to be answered and you say, let it be?
No, the way things go in these countries of ours, you cannot get the truth. It's possible that they can land on the wrong person and they create bad memories for nothing. So I felt I should be left alone and I can continue to live, pay as you go. Just.
So perhaps you think even tonight among those millions of people watching you, there could be that person who could maybe have carried out the act.
We could also be dead. You never know. But I don't want to bother myself with him or her.
So now, at one point you could not speak totally. Now you are able to speak.
Yes.
At least we're having a normal, healthy conversation, even though I can see you're struggling, considering I'm one of those who have been able to see you before.
Yeah.
The vibrance on the floor, the vibrance in Makindye, the vibrance in your party politics. Of course, that candle has not died down. The candle of Hussein Kyanjo is still burning.
Yeah.
What has this taught you in life?
Well, I have learned that people can be unkind, can be cruel. That's one. Two, I have also learned that you can be tested by God. And it's upon you to decide which side to belong to. Those who have been defeated, or those who still stand and say, let's continue with life.
But I've also learned that people can be full of love.
Yeah, they can be full of love. And I also continue to learn that prayers can work. Yeah. Someone has nothing to give you and said, I pray for you. Because when I'm walking on the road, I meet very many friends, old and young. They say, we are praying for you. And I believe them.
Understand the people of Makindye, when you are away, your biological son stood for that office, right?
No, I was present.
Well, okay, yes.
Yeah, I was present.
But your son stood for the
Yeah,
seat and represented that constituency once?
No, he didn't. He did not succeed.
He did not succeed?
Yeah, he did not succeed. He went, tried, and was not the choice of the people. Then he because this is one term.
Okay, yeah.
He just acted in the past election cycle. Yeah.
So now, we are moving to 2021. Where does JEMA stand today? Today, those who are political analysts are saying the politics we have are more of transactional politics than ideological politics. If you are to give direction where we stand right now, we seem to be at a political crossroad, and we need voices of people like you who are mature, who are steady and tested, to give some kind of guidance. What would you give?
Well, I think things have gone wrong because of one major factor. The people in Uganda, if you switch on your radio, switch on the television set, the problem we have here, people have turned the whole state into one man. And this one man is called Mr. Government, Mr. Museveni, right? When they are making appeals, they say, we ask to our government to yambe. We want government to help us. We want government to help us. I mean, government can help you, but not in that minute way, not in the micro way. They can help you in a major, bigger.
By putting together the macroeconomics,
yes,
by creating an environment that people can succeed
on their own.
So people should not expect...
Not government coming to your home and give you food on the table.
People should not have the manna mentality,
like
the biblical manna that would fall from heaven.
I mean, it can't happen, right? You have to come up, do your part, play your part. This is why we come. Otherwise I would have said, I don't have any energy to go to TVs, even at night. Why should I bother? But I have a contribution to make. So I have to put it across for everybody to judge. But if you start asking government, others start asking the state, asking President Museveni, it's the problem.
I have seen
it has come
members of the opposition parties, you know, who are very critical with sometimes, you know, you could say maybe even poisonous kind of tongue. Okay, maybe poisonous is not the word, but very critical on a different political, ideological path.
Yes.
But the following morning, you find them in bed, perhaps with NRM, and you wonder how the convergence of idea, how has it come? Because people are so different. Is that the normal way of politics?
No, that's the disease that has eaten everybody. You're with someone, it's very critical of government. That's why I don't want to be emotional when I'm dealing with these problems. Because the people you work with, today they are with you, tomorrow they are not. And when they decided to go away, they don't consult you at all. You just watch it on television. So and so has crossed to NRM, right? So when I find a position which is difficult, I go slowly on it. And I don't get emotional because I know that people we are playing with are not fixed. They are very varying. They can change at any time. And this is what they do. Right?
I just want to remind you the words of Professor Mahmoud Mahmoudan.
Yeah.
He was invited to speak at Tabamiruka, the grand meeting
Yes,
of
at
Buganda,
Africana Hotel.
At Africana Hotel.
Yeah.
And at the risk of
I
sounding
was
tribal,
one of the speakers.
You're one of the speakers.
And after that, I went to prison.
Yes.
For the words I spoke at Hotel Africa.
Yes, you went to prison because of that.
Yeah.
And Professor Mahmoudan told the people who come from the center of our country, here in Central.
Yeah.
And if I can remember very well, he said the biggest tribe or group in Uganda,
Yeah.
Buganda, has a psychology of the minority.
Yes.
I mean, that was maybe a bit provocative, but I don't know what you took from...
It was a statement of fact. It was a statement of fact.
That people here...
It was not overstretched, yes.
That the largest tribal grouping in Uganda has a psychology of the minority. Now, there appears to have come one young man in the name of the Honorable Robert Chagulanyi.
Yeah.
Is he the one?
Well, God knows. God knows. But he has come. And in a span of 2 years only, has been able to turn the tables upside down. You can now see people demonstrating in Canada, in Australia, in Orlando. Well, why? Because God has decided that there has to be a new person in the face of the people. That's why I tell people that from now up to 2021 is a long distance. Many things can change within that long distance. Because compared to Chagwang is not 3 years on the blackboard, no. It's just 1.5, 2 years there like that. But things have turned upside down.
That's how politics can be.
Yeah. And nobody should come and say, I am a master in politics. Nobody is a master in politics. And nobody can announce that I'm a successful politician. No, you can't.
What do you make of the generation of young Ugandans who seem not to have lost some kind of enthusiasm in politics? I'm saying that because when you look back during your years, or even before that, people who were so much interested in turning the arc of history were people in the 30s, in the late 20s, or early 40s. But today's Ugandans below 40 seem to be unbothered.
This is because of maybe fatigue. They have got a lot of fatigue because of the continuation of one man. I was looking at social media and they brought a picture from Tanzania. I don't know whether it was just gimmick, graphic
Fake
gimmick.
news or something?
No.
Okay.
Graphic gimmicks.
Okay.
And there was Hassan Mwinyi, there was Mukapa, there was Chikwete, and there was Magufuli. They were standing up, right? Each one representing 10 years in leadership. And they do put another one down. There was Museveni, there was Museveni, there was Museveni, there was Museveni. Representing 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. Right? That one has made people fatigued and they have got apathy now. If you tell them to go and vote, they say it's useless. He's still going to come back and steal the elections and remain the president.
If President Museveni decides to get on the ballot paper in 2021, he will have ruled Uganda for 35 years and will be trying to extend his rule for 40 years.
Yeah.
I'm sure by the time he came in 1986, many of you probably welcomed him because you saw him as a new breed of leader.
Yeah.
Did you expect that the president would be in charge of the country for 4 decades?
No. Not even Amanya Mshega.
Do you think he knew it?
No.
Do you think he himself?
No, he didn't know. Everybody thought he was going to rule as any other leader, reach a time and go. And he himself also spoke it loudly, right? He spoke it loudly. When you did this famous interview which you had with him, he emphasized that when you reach 75, you don't have the vigor. And you were emphatic. You said, do you mean to say we're not coming in the next election? He said, not at all. Definitely not at all. So this is the gentleman who came in a blue jacket. Today he's wearing a yellow jacket. And that's the trend.
Honorable Hussein Kyanjo.
Looks like nobody is going to convince him to leave that type of thinking.
Honorable Hussein Kyanjo, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Kamara. My guest tonight is Honorable Hussein Kyanjo. Honorable, I just want to draw your attention. Politics today. In fact, on Monday, we are beginning the Anti-Corruption Week or something like that. And when you look at Transparency International or the Corruption Index, Uganda is so in the doldrums in terms of fighting the same.
Yeah.
But when you see how we elect our leaders, Honorable Kyanjo, the vice of corruption is so much embedded into our social fabric that it even affects the kind of leaders we're going to elect. And even if they do not go buying the vote themselves or asking for it, the people will ask.
Yeah.
You can come and speak to them and give a good manifesto and all this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, they will touch on your throat and tell you, we have listened, but we also want something from you.
Yeah.
How are we ultimately, as a country, going to solve the issue of corruption that seems to have burrowed itself deep into our social structure?
Yeah, now you have to follow the structural development of a country and compare it with other countries. First and foremost, if you want to get away from corruption, you must not practice nepotism, you must not practice tribalism, because the danger with that is when Kamara is your nephew, you place him in a position, he gets corrupt, you want to chase him out of that position. Relatives will come at night. You say, this is what, you know, the father of Kamara did a lot to you when you were still a student. You can't chase him away. And your hands will be tied. That's how we have come into this abyss. Because there are very many relatives to the president. And in cabinet alone, they are over 15%. Actually 20, more than 20% in cabinet are relative to the president. This is going to cause us a lot of trouble. Corruption is everywhere. Today, when the president goes to institutions, he personalizes them. Tell me, when he goes and meets the bishop of Kigezi and he donates a car, is it for the office of the bishop or the owner, the bishop, the person in the name of the bishop? When he goes to Masaka and gives a car to the district card of Masaka, is it the district card or the person? Right? This is all corruption. And it's going on well. You can see that there are new efforts
but
by
my
the
problem,
president.
Honorable Hussein Kyanjo, whereas you may say there's corruption at the top leadership, but there's also a problem within our individual homes.
You are right.
We have no values, the lack of basic values that we Ugandans can choose
You are
and
right.
agree on, that these are the values we subscribe to. Do we have? Do we follow them?
We don't. This is the danger. We don't follow them. And this scourge is eating into society, deeply into society. When the president goes to a place, you hear some people reading reports, and in the end they say, I don't have a car, I want a motorcycle. You feel irritated and ashamed that an old man in the position of a kazi, or the position of a district kazi, is crying in front of the president, literally begging him to give him the car. What do you want the president to do? He will give the car. But we don't know whether he has given the car to the office of the district kazi or
to the individual.
To the individual. I mean, this type of corruption has to stop. But who's going to stop it?
So are you suggesting that in the fight against corruption there's no political will? Because I can see some form of political will because they have put institutions there.
No, what institution?
You have the IGG.
No.
You have
IGG
you have the anti-corruption fight from State House.
That is what you have to mention, not the IGG.
You have the judiciary.
All those can be blocked.
You have the anti-corruption court.
Isn't
that what a measure of a political will?
It's not enough. Let me give you a story. When Mchana Kalma had been appointed in the office around 2 months, I called that office. They showed the number, so I used that number and called the office of Mchana Kalma. Right? She was not the one picking the phone. An assistant called, picked the phone and told me, you can come to Parliament. We have an office near Parliament. I told him I cannot come to Parliament because my matter is between myself and you in secret. Right? He said, okay, I will call you. I'm going to inform Madam Nakalima and we shall call you. It is going to a year now.
They have never called
They have never called me. And you stand up and
give the numbers.
And you give the numbers. They are useless. Right? Nakalima went to Kira in the constituency of Mr. Semuju. When Honorable Semuju came, Nakalima left. He doesn't want to talk to the audience in the presence of Semuju because Semuju could challenge him, could challenge her. What type of anti-corruption are you?
Sometimes you say.
Are you putting in place?
But Honorable Kyanjo, sometimes people in the opposition say there's no political will. But yet you have heard the president speak against corruption in public, and yet you have seen him appoint individuals into institutions to fight the same. And yet we have seen the parliament appropriate money to these institutions. That really is an expression of a political will.
We are in a big prison, and each one is behaving differently in this prison. That's why you see the president putting up institutions and the counter institutions on top of the ones he has created already. You can't talk about the office of the IGG today. If you want to be listened to, you have to talk about Nakalima's office.
So in your view, this issue of corruption, is it greed? Is it, or just poverty?
No, it's about
the people who just want
not
to
poverty.
amass.
People who are most corrupt in Uganda are not poor. They are not poor. I don't want to mention names of people who are corrupt, very corrupt.
Some individuals?
Yeah, some have been banned from traveling to some countries because of that corruption. But they're not poor men. In fact, the poor people are not corrupt at all.
There was a time when this country, in the 60s and 70s, when we had other issues, but when it came to the sense of integrity, our integrity was intact. What do you think? Where did we begin to lose it as a country?
Longevity of leadership. I mean, in 10 years, Museveni was uncontestable. He was uncontestable. I contested with him when I was the campaign manager for Mr. Mayanja. Some old person will sit you down and say, Bana bangi, mukola kikino, Museveni na yavuganyizibwa. Meaning,
he was almost messianic at that time.
Yeah, what are you doing, you boys? Can you challenge Museveni? I had a professor friend in Dar es Salaam. Said, Hussein, I'm going to hate you. I don't want to see anybody scratching Museveni. Don't compete with him. He's going to leave his time and he will go away. Just leave him. Recently, the professor called me and said, you were right. We didn't know what we were saying. From 96 up to date, there are more than 20 presidential candidates who have been competing with Museveni. And all of them have been getting a zero result. Because in politics, it's not like a football, it's not like a sports. When you run, they will give a medal to the winner, the second person, and the third one. Okay? Gold, from gold to silver and bronze. Right? In politics, there is only one medal, gold. When you don't get the gold, you have not got anything.
So you have to blame yourself for failure to get the gold. Why don't you go for gold?
You always go for gold, but the results are different. Today, everybody is clear that Mr. Museveni does not win. He still in the election. Right? This is what he did in 2001, 2006, when Messi won him.
You know, I hosted the Honorable Robert.
He won him. Right? And now Ugandans are saying, you please be with you. That's how politics is.
I hosted the Honorable Robert Charles Golonyi.
Yes.
On that very chair where you are.
Yeah.
And I think he said something very fundamental. That the vote that they can steal, in fact he said it in Uganda.
Yeah.
Babakataweze.
Babakataweze.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That you need to overwhelm the system with votes. Why don't you do that? And I think he's telling his people, let our win be decisive. Because you cannot win, you cannot cheat
in Uganda,
something that is overwhelmed.
No, in Uganda,
overwhelm the system with votes.
You can overwhelm when you are an MP. That's what you can do. But you can't overwhelm when you're a presidential candidate.
Why not?
It is not possible. How can you do that? Because all institutions have been turned into party organs. The RDC, the COWs, the headmasters of big institutions, the PSs in ministries.
If there's something I picked from Honorable Robert Chagulanyi,
yeah,
and I believe maybe it has sense, is that if you want to defeat them,
yeah,
that defeat must be
decisive.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like Idi Amin.
On that chair in Luganda,
yeah,
Babakataweze. Give it in full force,
no,
full throttle.
Idi Amin, when he was bidding farewell to boxers, Ugandan boxers who are going to fight abroad, he said the whites are tricky. Don't go for scores in terms of points. I want you to go for knockout. Right? Because with the knockout, there will not be any tricks played. This is the same thing here. You want to put a knockout in front of Museveni, but you can't because he told you a mere paper cannot chase him out of the chair.
Let me ask you, and you know, because as opposition politicians, many have cried that the ground is not leveled.
Yeah.
But and I know, and you're right, the ground is not leveled.
Yes.
But guess what? It will never get leveled for you. You have to fight.
No.
You have to swim from the deep end.
You have to swim, but if the pond or the pool contains hot water, you will not swim. You don't swim. Because the known norm is that the swimming pool has got cold water. Right? Here we are in an election with a men, with policemen, with other districts, with the district executive, all working for Mr. Museveni, and you expect to win, to be miraculous. And miracles never happen in Uganda anymore.
Your party president is now one of the coordinators of the People Power movement.
Yes.
And you wonder if you have built a party, and you have just said in terms of politics, People Power are still like toddlers. They just came yesterday. Even though they have a lot of impact, they are still beginning. They have teething problems. They are taking baby steps. But look, your whole party president is hobnobbing with them. And instead of building
his own party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's you have your own selves to blame in most cases.
No, you can't blame ourselves. We can't blame ourselves. And you can't blame us. We are operating in an abnormal situation. And what you are demanding is normal action, right? Bastard will go to your party and vote it and come and win the election. It can't work like that. Otherwise, you wouldn't have supported Dr. Besigye. He was not Jema. But we thought we could combine our efforts and put up a formidable force to fight Mr. Museveni. Right?
The element of coming together as opposition politicians has eluded you so much. It's been so elusive.
Yeah.
In fact, unity is like your Achilles heel. And I wonder what can be done for you to have unity. Because there is strength in numbers, in working together, but either you don't want or you don't get it.
No, every time we add on our team, and every number helps to define the picture of our own fight against the president. I never imagined that one day Winnie Byanyima would come and belong to the same side like myself. Because we met with Winnie Byanyima in the 90s on Capital Radio, Capital Gang.
Yes.
Yeah. And Winnie expressed disappointment with me. Said, you, Hussein, how can you be mentioned that you support a party called Jema and that you have got a candidate who is going to fight Mr. Museveni? Are you serious? So when I met her on my side, I said, what has happened? She just told me, I'm sorry, you were right. So we shall continue adding on that number year by year. And this time the number is swelling too much. It has also gone out in other countries. The other day you saw President Museveni in Japan, when Ugandans gathered and made a demonstration. There was not tear gas, and the people in the hall where he was sitting knew that he was no longer popular. Right? These new things you see, like a denial of visas, are not for nothing. Again, there has been a trend of opposition following the agenda of Mr. Museveni. Today it has changed. Mr. Museveni is following the agenda of the opposition. That's why when they go to the ghetto, he also rushes there. That's the situation, Mr. Patrick.
But now, you seem, as JEMA, as FDC, as other parties, fixated on the removal of Museveni the man, but not necessarily giving us alternative ideas and on what you need to do.
Alternative ideas, that is a diversionary. The major factor is removing the dictator. He's one man. So when you deal with other things, you are diverting us.
Yeah, but we need to know, when you get that power, what do you do with it?
No,
what you do with it should be reflected in some of the ideals and how you want to handle the economy and how you want to handle your foreign policy, how you want to...
No, let me tell you. When Museveni is removed, no single party is going to stand up and say we are going to deal with the problem alone. We must run into a combination of all forces from different parties. They sit together. Honorable Mukitale has been fighting for this thing, and the
police account MP.
The police account MP,
yes. And
Bishop Niringie. They have been fighting for the national dialogue, I think for 7 years now.
Justice James Ogola.
Of the Elders Forum.
Godwin Mushabe and people.
They have been fighting for that. And their cry is, let's sit down and negotiate. Mine is simple. I support everybody who wants to go.
You really think and you are convinced that people can accept to sit in a dialogue and dialogue themselves out of power?
Not out of power. That is an exaggeration. Dialogue themselves into compromise. Because that's also possible. Why do you talk about...
But if they believe they have come to office through a timetable and through an election, and Ugandans have given them a mandate, and Ugandans have given them a mandate...
It has not worked. It has not worked.
So in a sense, what is not working? Because
the program,
there's a government in Kampala.
The normal program is not working. We have to devise means that are going to work. The ones put in place today are not working. because the president,
the
president has insisted.
That kind of talk probably is even going to kill the dialogue, because I still cannot understand how those who are running the affairs of our country, you want to call them in a dialogue,
yeah,
and tell them your things are not working.
Yes.
You need a compromise, and then they should just let themselves that compromise happen.
No, they have to come to their senses, deal with the problem as it is. Otherwise, if they wait for a situation to get worse, they will not find time to negotiate. Gaddafi did not find time. Hussein Mubarak did not find the time. Mugabe did not find the time. But they all had the chances. You remember very well when Gaddafi was insisting.
Honorable Hussein Kyanjo, this country, history shows that every time Ugandans have gotten together in some kind of a conference or dialogue, governments have changed. Since the times of the Lancaster Conference,
yes,
the Moshi Conference,
yes,
governments change.
Yeah.
So you want a dialogue that could also change a government, and yet there are those who are benefiting from it.
It is cheaper. The adoption is very costly. Because it will happen one day, one time. What happened in Libya, what happened in Egypt, what happened in Iraq will happen in Uganda one day, one time. And when I'm discussing with my friends from the NRM, they say, you let it happen. Are they happy in Libya today? My answer is, they are not happy. But that was the creation of Gaddafi. That's what he created. This is what Museveni is creating in Uganda today. And that is what will happen. And I can assure you it will happen.
Honorable Hussein Kyanjo, we are going to take a break. But when we come back, I'll open the lines. You'll see the numbers on your screen. Please pick your phone and call us and talk to Hussein Kyanjo. Probably agree or disagree with him, but should you disagree, please disagree with respect. We'll be right back.
So
welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Kamara, and my guest tonight is Honorable Hussein Kyanjo. And now you can reach us online. You can call and talk to Hussein Kyanjo. If you have a question, you can ask. If there's something you want to add on this discussion, you could. And perhaps if you could disagree with his political line, also, this is your moment when you could. I am told that you do not want to return to politics at all, or in terms of elective politics for a constituency like Makinde, where people love you so much.
Yes, they do. But I have to stand for principle. I told them I'll be member of parliament, elected member of parliament for 10 years. And that was it.
You did your part and you don't want to go back?
Yeah. They come now and tell me, things are not running the way they should. I said, be patient. Probably the people who are in parliament today will also learn, slowly by slowly.
But also they say sometimes bad people are not only those who maim and kill and talk bad things, but also those who stand by and watch and let things happen.
Of course, they are worse than those who are talking. That's why I come and talk. In this situation, I wouldn't be coming here. No.
Despite the health problems that you have,
yeah,
you still have an incredible sharp mind that can serve this country through elective politics.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Then it should be.
Yeah.
So, I see a man full of, principle, a man of his word. I see an element of integrity in you. I see many things that we have them in deficit today.
Yeah.
What sets you apart?
Well, I first of all got a lot of training from my parents, right? And one time I was speaking with my friend from Australia. He told me that you must have read a lot of books. I told him no. On the contrary, I didn't read a lot of books, but I listened a lot to my father. And I always concentrate on praying to my God whenever I find time.
Some of these principles are wired in your DNA from your father.
Yes. That's why when I say I am going to do this, it's what I go with. When you defeat me in due honesty, I will tell you you have won. and will apologize if it was a bad contest. But here people have just turned into machines. They want to act like machines. They are believing in money for everything. I've been telling young people, you have to work, not to look for money. Work and money are two different things. If you work well, money will come to you. But if you concentrate on money alone, it will not, it will just evade you.
Let me open the line so that
we have to be consistent.
I get to hear what Ugandans make of your submissions tonight. I have a call online. Hello. I will try to take another call online. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening, sir.
Yes,
what's your name and where are you calling from?
How are you?
Go right ahead with your comment or question.
Am I calling the line straight to the TV station?
Yes, you're on air. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from TV. I'm Hussein.
Yes, Hussein, you're on air.
Now, my question is one.
Yes. Go right ahead, Hussein.
The question is, Honorable Kyanjo, we appreciate all and we are sorry for what you have gone through. But my question is one. The opposition has failed totally to organize themselves or to put a proper platform for the incumbent, the current president, for them to go. The moment they are only threatening this gentleman, it will become so difficult for him to hand over power. Number two, these people have been like coming in partnership. They say, okay, we are making a coalition, let's organize ourselves. Up to today, we've not got a potential candidate who we can see that this person is ready to take over government. Honorable Kyanjo, what are you saying about this? Because we have seen it, all the elections that we have been going through to today, we don't see a potential candidate who can take over. What is about this one? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Our caller there from Entebbe. I'm going to take some more callers so that the Honorable Kyanjo would be able to respond to your questions or comments at once. I have another call online. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm called Giziwe. I am a district councillor from Kagadi.
Giziwe from Kagadi, you're on air.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to thank Honorable Hussein Kyanjo for the good analysis of what is taking place in our country. Now, the question I have for Honorable Kyanjo.
Yes.
One of the core 10-point program, I can call it a 10-point program because the FDC came up with 10-point program when they handed them the leadership of the iPod.
Yes.
One of it was to have viable, durable, and multi-party, as in to have viable, durable political parties.
Yes.
But then we are seeing here the president comes out to and compromises some of the key supporters of given opposition political parties. He brings them to his side. So my question to Kyanjo: how best can this be? How will it strengthen the opposition when the president is coming out and getting some of the members from the opposition, bringing them to his side? How will they have viable, durable, and strong political parties?
Agiziwe from Kagadi.
That's the case.
Agiziwe from Kagadi, you have made your point. Thank you very much. I'm going to take maybe two more, and that will be it, so that Honorable Hussein Kyanjo can answer at once. I have another caller online. Hello.
Good evening, Patrick.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Joseph. I'm calling from Kireka.
You're in Kireka. Go right ahead, sir.
Actually, I just called to actually thank God for Hussein Kyanjo's life. I thank God that Kyanjo is alive, and I'm happy to see him.
Okay.
He has been off for some time, but we thank God that he's alive.
All right.
And maybe continue to pray for his life. Actually, that's why I called.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think that is so humbling. Let me maybe take a last call. I'm telling my producer is telling me that quite a number of you would want to speak to Honorable Kyanjo, but unfortunately, it will be a question of time if I don't pick your call. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Moroto. My name is Achiro Emmanuel.
From Moroto.
Yes.
Emmanuel, you're on air.
Thank you, Patrick. I would like to really inform Honorable Hussein that indeed the Lord loves him. And it's very important for him to get to know that truly God exists. And to the rest of the Ugandans who are washing outside there, to really know that God is there.
But thank you very much, Emmanuel, from Moroto.
Yeah, now what I would like to inform the citizens of this country is that indeed the situation in the country is not normal, and of course the direction the country is taking, the majority of the Ugandans, over 75% of the citizens in Uganda are happy about the current state of the politics in the country. Particularly corruption, how it has exploded, unemployment, the taxes which is going higher, and the citizens are paying the price. As we talk right now, they are not drugged in hospitals. The country is really so. I would like to support what Honorable Hussein is talking, what Honorable Hussein is saying, that indeed the idea of Ugandans trying to look into one person and failing to make things for themselves, just becoming beggars in the country. So my prayer is that we, as citizens of this country, we must change from this aspect. It's one of the issues which is letting us down, which is really bringing us down.
Okay, our caller from Moroto, we thank you very much, and you made your point. Okay, quite a number of you would want to speak to Honorable or maybe contribute, but unfortunately we can't continue with the calls, but you have a sample of some of these questions, and maybe if you can briefly go through them, and then we see how we can have the concluding.
Yes, I have to thank the callers for putting an extra effort in calling. Two of them were, one from Moroto and Kireka, were thanking God for my life, and I joined them in appreciating what God has done to me and to the rest of us. From Kagadi, he talks about the 10-point program and the complaints about how the president buys members of the opposition. There is no medicine to this. If he has the money and other people have no principles, they'll have to be bought all the time. I used to tell the people in Makindi that how can you be bought for 5 years and you are given one bottle of soda for 5 years? Should be a very cheap person. Right? Well, some he did, others didn't, but that's what we have to go through. Then the first caller was complaining about the failure of the opposition to come together. This one is just an ongoing process. We are coming together. We quarrel, yes. We complain about each other, yes. But in the end, we come together. That's why you can see people running in different directions. One supporting Besigye, another one supporting Mbabazi, another one supporting Mao. But in the end, when the vote is over, all these groups come together. That's the meaning. We have to come together this time around. The idea of people fighting for their individual positions should be dismissed. And we continue with the idea of forming a force that is going to force Mr. Museveni, to overwhelm Mr. Museveni, to use your words, out of power. It is not just negotiating him out, it is just a decent way. Yeah, overwhelming him with a decent way of leaving power and staying out. Daniel Arap Moi negotiated. It was a negotiation, not the vote. Right? Gaddafi was in the middle of the heat when Mandela told him, please come down this side, nobody's going to touch you when you are here. He refused, and the results were all seen by everybody. We must avoid these results. I would be very sad if Mr. Museveni was embarrassingly removed from power. I would be very, very sad. I want him to go out of power while he's still decent. We shall talk about other things later.
Honorable Hussein Kyanjo, thank you very much. What's going to be your concluding remark?
My concluding remark is that people should not worry about the power and the tactics of the opposition. What we are doing is the right thing. We are operating in an abnormal situation, so sometimes we shall act abnormally and you have to excuse us for us.
Thank you very much. Honorable Hussein Kyanjo, a man with the gift of the gab, but the loss of his voice almost denied him that. Just like the phoenix in Egypt, he's rising from the ashes and he's still here to serve his country, I'm sure, with distinction. Thank you very much. Good night and God bless Uganda.